When Pep Guardiola moved to Germany to join Bayern Munich in 2013, there was a sense that the Spaniard would favour consistency rather than revolution. Gradually, however, Guardiola found that the German culture of counter-pressing when out of possession was prevalent throughout the whole league. Guardiola began to ask Philipp Lahm, the right back, and David Alaba, the left back, to move inside the half spaces when Bayern Munich were in possession. They often found themselves flanking the six at the base of the midfield in the 4-3-3 system that Guardiola continued to prefer. So today we are trying to revolutionise football and that fullback position again using the inverted wing-back role. And welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be creating a tactic rather than recreating it, but I have been enjoying your requests, so make sure you keep them coming. But today we are trying to create that perfect tactic for inverted wing-backs, but we're also using a very unusual formation, a 4-1-1-4, of course using two inverted wing-backs. The two inverted wing-backs being absolutely key to the system. They will get high match ratings, but also we're doing something unfamiliar with the role as well, so make sure you stay tuned. If you believe you are going to like this video, gives it a thumbs up, also leaves it a comment as well, and well, you can share it, you can subscribe. Engaging really helps this channel grow, and that would be really appreciated. So are you ready to revolutionize football? This inverted movement saw Bayern able to progress the ball through the pressure much more cleanly, and they created a platform from which the rest of the team could launch attacking movements. Players can aid and support the ball progression as well as how they can be used to disrupt the defensive line of the opposition. The Liverpool coach Jurgen Klopp also decided to prioritise this movement from Trent Alexander-Arnold because he wanted to give his Liverpool side more control of game situations in which the opposition were unlikely to force the issue and were happy to sit in a deeper defensive block. Trent Alexander-Arnold is a fantastic ball player and great progressor of the ball, and as such, Klopp wanted him to see more of the ball in the attacking phase. In order to successfully utilise this movement, however, Liverpool would need to ensure that they maintain width on the right hand side. Otherwise, the opposition would drop into a narrow defensive block on that side, and any advantage they had gained in moving Trent into the half space would be lost. In Football Manager, my aim too is to control the game completely by the use of inverted wing backs, but we also want to utilise them as a key and primary creative player in the attacking third. By doing so, we'll create a tactic with an unusual shape, a 4-1-1-4. So this is the handsome formation that we are trying to use to revolutionise football. But before we get stuck into the formation, because we also want to analyse it as well, we are going to look at the results very briefly that we got with Vitoria. The reason why I wanted to show you the results with Vitoria, because it was a very brief save. This was just a test save, so I instant resulted all the results, but I didn't get to revolutionise the role in the way I wanted to. You will see the save that I did with Standard, and we're going to deep dive into that save. In the top tier in Portugal, you can see that Guimarães finished third. We were predicted to finish fifth, but we also won the Portuguese Cup as well, beating Sporting 3-0 in that final. In the league, we did score 70 goals, but we did also have the most shots for. Now, this is what I mean about we didn't get to revolutionise the role fully in the way that we wanted, and you will see this later at the save that we did with Standard. We scored a lot more goals, but we also did something very interesting with that inverted wing back role. Now, this will be a little bit more relevant when we are analysing the tactic just a tad later, but Helder Sar, our left back, 75 tackles won. Our inverted wing backs are also our ball winners in central midfield. But now we are going to break down how we attempted to revolutionise this inverted wing back role, revolutionise football, I guess, but also how we created a perfect inverted wing back role. The inverted wing-backs are going to be so integral to the system, almost completely dependent. Defensively, longer spells without the ball, they'll be traditional fullbacks. Defending in a back four, keeping spaces in between their centre-backs tight and in a high line. In defensive transitions, after losing the ball, because of their narrow positioning in attack, I want them to be ball winners, instantly putting pressure on the ball in midfield, stopping counter-attacks and creating a three-man midfield with the central midfielder, which is why you saw my left back with a high number of tackles. Them engaging and tackling hard is high risk as there's going to be space behind to attack, but it's also rewarding if they win the ball back successfully. In attack, the fullbacks are there to create chances relentlessly. Though we do have a playmaker in midfield, it's the inverted wingbacks that are responsible for chance creation, allowing our playmaker to focus on dictating play. The wingers will focus on holding their width out wide to create space horizontally to allow the fullbacks to underlap. The wingers also have an important job not to get carried away with their positioning when building to allow those fullbacks to work their magic. The fullbacks clearly are massive for us, we rely on them, but what the other players do and how they move are also important. Otherwise, how are we going to be effective with our movement for the inverted wingbacks? We have a unique concept with the players swapping positions. The left winger switches with the playmaker. The false nine will switch with the right winger. This of course requires highly intelligent players for it to work, but it is there to cause confusion, doubt, and to create effective chances. On top, we've created a counter movement partnership. We have a striker dropping deep to link play whilst his partner makes the opposite movement and looks to pin the defenses back. Again, it's all to cause confusion, doubt, and also space. But for now, let's get back into FM. Importantly, I'm not the first and only manager to do this. Pep Guardiola more recently and more noticeably has done this with Zinchenko, moving him from central midfield and using him as that inverted wingback role. But we've done that, and we've done that twice. So we have Steven Elzate, I believe he's on loan from Brighton, but as we can see, he actually cannot play left back at all. His left foot is reasonably strong, but he has some very good central midfielder attributes, and it's the attributes that I really want from my fullbacks. So like I said in the analysis, I want my fullbacks to be the main creators, and we can see here for Steven Elzate, dribbling 14, first touch 14, passing technique, teamwork, vision, off the ball, flair, composure. He's even got the pace, agility and balance, something that Bruno Gaspar just didn't have, and we will notice, or we will recognize, the big difference between having just a standard fullback who isn't really good technically and having a very good technical, well, I would say fullback but a central midfielder, because Steven Elzate is clearly a central midfielder. And as the right back, we're actually training another central midfielder, but he's mainly a right winger, I would say, but we're also changing him or turning him into a right back. He's not as good attribute wise as Steven Elzate. You can see he doesn't have those 14s, well he does mentally, but he doesn't have those 14s technically like Steven Elzate. But Salim Amala done very well, arguably way better than Steven Elzate. But let's look back at the tactic and break it down. So that's how I plan to kind of revolutionize. The role is strictly use central midfielders rather than fullbacks, and I know that Zinchenko has been used in this sort of role before. I would say Zinchenko was more of a central midfielder, and we're using these inverted wing backs as a central attacking midfielder, sometimes even strikers. You will see they make runs off the striker, especially the right inverted wing back, making moves off this false nine. Team instruction wise, we've gone with that positive mentality. We're also going to be attacking fairly narrowly as well, trying to funnel play in those central areas. We do want that playmaker on the ball as well, because we need him to dictate tempo. He's still key. Every other player is still key to this system. The inverted wing backs though, I want them to move into the central areas, and I want them to see a lot of the ball. So for the attacking width, we are trying to funnel our play through the central areas. We are going to play out from the back because we are possession based. We are looking to keep the ball with a shorter passing, but we're also trying to increase the tempo to try and unsettle the opposition's defenses. In the final third, it's all about low crosses and working the ball into the box. We're trying to get those pullbacks, especially from the inside forwards, and for the creative freedom, well, be more expressive. We want to take risks. In transition, when the possession has been lost, we're looking to counter press, try and win the ball back immediately. When possession has been won, we don't have any instruction. You can go absolutely gung-ho and use counter. So if we do use counter and gung-ho, then we are going to be leaving spaces and gaps. We are already leaving spaces and gaps with the two inverted wing backs anyway, and just using counter, you could possibly be creating more gaps and spaces for the opponents to attack. And then for the goalkeeper, he's just going to roll it out. Out of possession, we are going to press, but this press isn't relentless. We are using an offside trap, a higher line of engagement with a standard defensive line, and the defensive width is on standard. Marking and tackling, the trigger press is on more often, and we are also going to prevent that short goalkeeper distribution. Sometimes, to be fair, when the opponents were playing free at the back, I then did remove this instruction. Now for the player roles in goal, we do have have a sweeper keeper on defend, passing it shorter, taking fewer risk and tackling harder. Both fullbacks, of course, being inverted fullbacks or inverted wing backs, shooting less often and getting stuck in as well. In defense, we do have a ball playing defender, a central defender, both passing it shorter, staying wider and tackling harder. The central defender has to be taking fewer risks just to try and retain that possession a little bit better. In the holding midfield area, we do have a defensive midfielder dribbling less, holding his position, tackling harder. Moving up just a little bit, we do have that advanced playmaker in central midfield, our one central midfielder technically, but when we do have the ball and we're moving ahead, building up, we will have those inverted wing backs joining our playmaker in midfield. And then ideally, we want 3 playmakers across the midfield. Out on the flanks, we do have 2 inside forwards shooting less often and getting stuck in. We do have a false 9 up top with that pressing forward. Neither of those have any player instructions, but that there is the tactic wrapped up. It's all juicy, so juicy, so juicy. Now we can look at the results that we got with Standard, because I'm using these results as the reference rather than the Vitoria ones. Even though the Vitoria results were good, these ones were better. So yes, in the Jupiler Pro League in Belgium, we did top the league. 40 games played, 34-1. We drew 3 and we lost 3 games as well. Getting a points tally of, no, that's obviously not correct, on 59. So if we check out the full table, and then we can see here 44 games played, 31 and points tally of 92. But looking at the average rating down here, we can see it is the central midfielder turned right back with the highest average rating with 7.73, but he also has the highest amount of assists. Now looking at the stats, and like I said earlier, if you do have the correct players, then the tactic will work wonders. We scored 70 goals with Vitoria, but with Standard, we scored 116 goals. Having those inverted playmakers, well, those inverted wing backs, and getting central midfielders to play there works wonders. Having fullbacks that can't really create, it does no good, and this is a prime example. Most shots for, it is Standard. We did concede a fair few shots against us, 371, but we did complete the most dribbles, similar to what we did at Vitoria. Looking at the fewest conceded, well, we dropped all the way down to joint 6 on 41. Most goals, it is Philip Zignagel. He's got 22. I believe he's on loan from Nottingham Forest actually. Reynold Emond as well, and Drager scoring 18 and 17 goals respectively. Selim Amala with 16 assists. We've got Aaron Dunham, our left winger, and that Zickenberger guy. He got 12 assists. Most shots for, nobody in the list. Most man of the match awards, it is Selim Amala with 7. Most key passes, Selim is in that list. We also have Aaron as well. We also won the Croaky Cup. Now I believe that's basically Belgium's version of the FA Cup, and we can see the goals here. This final was, well, very easy, very comfortable. 31 shots to their 8, 17 on target to their 2, and XG of 3.18 to their 0.29, and we saw 55% of the ball, completing 90% of our passes. Selim, our man of the match. So the first goal, I believe it came from a break. Yes, it is Aaron Dunham. He's breaking on a counter attack. He's going to play it, surely. That's not a great ball. That wasn't a great ball, but it does feel to Zinc, and we're just going to call him Zinc. Amala there, Elzate, and that is the both of our inverted wing backs combining on the edge of the opponent's box. Now here's Elzate, Dragos, Perica, plays with Donovan. What a strike! That's 2 beautiful strikes in this Belgium Cup final. Now we're going to build out from the back here. Our centre-back, what a ball. That's our ball-playing defender, by the way. Perica buries it, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and for the 4th goal, here's Raskin now. He's a very decent player, that Raskin. Here's Duwale, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He smashes it, and he's also the sub right back. So for the top goal scorers, we did have that Philip Zink. We have Eamon, Dragos, and Perica all scoring double digits. And looking at the assists as well, we have Aaron Dunham, Zickenbagel, and we have Selim Amala. Stephen Elzate, the left inverted wing back, he scored 5 goals, got 8 assists. Selim Amala, 6 goals and 19 assists. This game was a 6-0 win against Maruka, and you can see Bruno Gaspar, man of the match, our right back, with 2 assists, 1 clear-cut chance created. You can also see Helder Sar as well, our left inverted wing back. He's got a goal in this game, and he's also created a clear-cut chance. Now let's have a look. So Maruka managed to clear the ball. Sar recovers the ball well for Vitoria. Some nice, look at that diamond there that we just saw there. Here's Bruno Gaspar, Antonin, De La Cruz, and that was the first goal for Vitoria. Vitoria. Here's Villanova now on the ball, plays it to Handel Janvier. Here's Sarr now. Here is the left inverted wing back, and just look how cool he is in front of goal. 2-0. The third comes from a set piece. Valbuena heads the ball in from a Lamaras. I'm definitely butchering all of these names, but here's Bruno Gaspar on the ball now, running wide with the ball, whips it in for Safira, and there we are, 4-0. Here's the fifth one now. Here's Sarr, plays it to Safira, runs inside the box, pulls it back to Janvier. 5-0. Very, very comfortable. And for the final goal, here is Sarr involved in the build-up. Janvier plays it to Bruno Gaspar. He's going to play a lovely free ball to Andre Silva. There's his second assist of the game. The inverted wing-backs heavily involved in this game with 3 goal contributions, 2 assists and 1 goal. And lastly, against Upin, we won 4-1 at home. Another very comfortable win. But if we look at the stats over here on the right hand side, it's Selim Amala again. He's got 2 assists, 4 clear-cut chances created, but Stilvan Azarte also has created 3 clear-cut chances. I'm saying clear-cut chances, I think it's just chances created, to be fair. So for the first goal, we got our left winger running out wide. Is he going to whip this in? He pulls it back into Raskin. Raskin, look at that lovely hold-up play there. Here's Amala, plays it to Eamon, and that is his first assist of the game. Now for the second goal is a penalty. Slots it in. Very, very cool. Now for Upin's goal, we lose the ball. They go on a little break. They get in behind our defence, and as Endry, what a finish. He puts it past Boldart. Now for the third goal, yes, it's a corner from Amala, whips it in, Eamon, header, and now for the fourth and final goal, here's Azarte on the ball, lovely through ball to Zikumego, and then hard and low to Dragos. 4-1 wraps up the game. But unfortunately, that wraps up this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, offer your tactical recommendations, but also you can subscribe. Just engaging in this video helps out. Shout out to my patrons as well. If there's another video similar to this that you like me to do, tell me the formation, tell me the player role, and I'll get to it. And I will see you guys soon. Stay safe. Good night. God bless. Bloop, bloop.